Hi, my name's Robert Owens. I'm a candidate for Ohio Attorney General, and I'd like to explain the differences between myself and my Democratic opponent, Richard Cordray. Mr. Cordray is the poster child for pay-to-play politics. And by pay-to-play politics, I mean exactly what you think it means. That politicians accept big campaign donations, and in return it influences their policy decisions and who gets the benefit of hundreds of millions of dollars of contracts. Now, in 2008, I exposed Rich Cordray, who was then state treasurer, for taking a completely illegal campaign contribution from a banker by the name of Montford Will at Wachovia Bank. And in exchange, Mr. Cordray gave Mr. Will $11 billion in state business. Now, this ended up resulting in the largest violation of Ohio campaign finance laws and resulted in the largest fine rendered by the Ohio Elections Commission in the history of Ohio. And it continues in this cycle. Just this campaign season, Mr. Cordray has taken $17,500 from a notorious Youngstown family. Now, this family's head has already been convicted of bribing public officials. It has members that are under current indictment for money laundering and fraud. And understand, the Attorney General is in charge of investigating and prosecuting organized crime. So why in the world would Mr. Cordray be taking $17,500 from this family? That's pay-to-play politics. Mr. Cordray simply does not understand the idea of private property rights. Now, this is a concept that our founding fathers held very dear to themselves, and it is a linchpin that has made our country great. Yet Mr. Cordray has used his power of litigation to litigate against private property owners over and over again, even in frivolous fashion. Let me give you an example. There is currently a legal action brought by Mr. Cordray against lakeshore property owners. Now, this action was dismissed by the trial court. It was dismissed by the appellate court. The governor told him to back off. Yet Mr. Cordray continues to litigate against private property owners on the lakeshore. Now, that just fundamentally does not understand private property rights. Mr. Cordray is in favor of federal health care, and specifically Obamacare, as recently passed. Mr. Cordray has written numerous editorials trying to defend the constitutionality of Obamacare, even though this is clearly unconstitutional. See, he denies that it is individual patients that should have the right to choose their health care. And he wants to enforce state and federal government upon you on the issues of health care. He just doesn't understand the Constitution, not the United States Constitution, not the Ohio Constitution. And he's unfit for office for that reason. Mr. Cordray has been trying to reinvent himself this election cycle as a pro-gun candidate. But his record betrays his true self. Previously, Richard Cordray has sought for, screamed for, and accepted an endorsement from the Brady campaign. And this, of course, was given to him as loyal work in the past, because in Rich Cordray's first stint in the Attorney General's office, he engaged in litigation against Sheriff Richard Mack, who tried to oppose the Brady bill application in his state by raising the defense of the 10th Amendment. Now, Rich Cordray didn't join with Richard Mack. He litigated against him. He denied the importance of the 10th Amendment, and he tried to essentially shill for the federal government to enforce the Brady bill against the citizens of Ohio and the citizens of the entire United States. The Second Amendment holds in part that our rights to own and carry firearms, quote, shall not be infringed, end quote. Well, that's a pretty simple statement. Shall not be infringed. If Mr. Cordray can't understand that, he doesn't belong in office, and he doesn't deserve your vote. My name is Robert Owens. I stand for ending pay-to-play politics. We're going to get rid of closed bid contracts that go out to political donors, and we're going to have open competitive bid contracts because that's what the public expects and that's what they deserve from their public officials. I'm going to protect private property rights because that's the heritage of our country and is what has made our nation great. I'm going to push back against the federal government because only you should be in the business of making choices about your health care, certainly not the federal government. And I stand before you as a staunch defender of the Second Amendment because I understand what it means, shall not be infringed. It's a simple statement to me, and I'm going to enforce it and make sure that your right to own and carry a gun is not infringed. My name is Robert Owens. Visit our campaign at owensforohio.com and remember to vote for me on November 2nd. Thank you very much.